Another day of Manchester United being linked to a new manager, but this time the manager option is a bit better than being linked to Potter and Gareth Southgate. It's a bit of an upgrade in Zinedine Zidane. Now, I've been very clear with you guys. I don't think Man United are going to get Zinedine Zidane. I don't think he wants to join Man United, but the reports coming out from credible journalists are saying Zidane would be open to the Manchester United move. There is a bit of a move in reports about Zidane to United coming out from a couple of outlets, and he has been regularly linked to United. And while I still don't see Zidane at United, and I think it could be another case of someone using United and the media to get the move he really wants, and maybe he's linking himself with his agents, linking him to United and the media to make the club that will go for Zidane or the move that he really wants a bit scared that he's going to go to United. You never know with reports coming out saying Zidane's open to United. We're going to get into that. I don't think it's going to happen, but we're going to get into it because there's a lot to get into. We're also going to get into the Ashworth news, more links to Frenkie de Jong, and Man United have a big plan for Harry Amass. So stay tuned for that. We've got lots to cover in today's show, so please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I know I'm speaking really fast, but there's loads to get into, and I want to keep this video under 10 minutes. Zinedine Zidane is keeping a close eye on the situation at Manchester United. He's itching and keen to return to being a coach. Zinedine Zidane wants to get back into coaching. I think he has his eyes set on Real Madrid. I think he has his eyes set on the France job. I think potentially Man United is Man United, and he could be open to that move because of the history of the club. But the thing about Man United is it's not ready made to win trophies yet. We're going to need 2 or 3 years before we're ready made to win trophies, which I don't know if Zidane's that kind of manager that rebuilds, or I don't know if Zidane's kind of managers that takes a good squad and makes sure they hit their ceiling. Do you get what I'm saying? It was then said, breaking, Zinedine Zidane prefers a move to Manchester United over Bayern Munich. Zidane respects that Bayern would provide him a chance to win titles immediately, but he's fought to find the German language and life in Bavaria to be a major obstacle. Instead, he's closely monitoring the situation at United. I don't know if Zidane can speak English. Apparently, he can speak a little bit of English, and he would prefer a move to United over Bayern. Again, I just see Zidane going back to Real Madrid, in my opinion, or managing France. But if he's not going to go to Barcelona. He doesn't want to go to Germany. Does he want to go to Italy? Is the Italian league it? Is the French league it? I think it is the Premier League if it's not international or it's not Real Madrid. And Man United is as big as it gets in the Premier League. And we know from Santi, a reliable source, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants Zidane as Man United's new manager this summer. Now, Santi is a credible source of information. And we know that Blanc has a good relationship with Zidane. We know that Ineos do rate Zidane. I don't know if that's who they want. I think that he would be on the shortlist if there's a shortlist of managers. We know De Zerbi is like, we know Potter's like. Of course, people like Zidane and Pep and people are going to be on there who are good managers, even if they're not the most realistic. But the report coming out today is saying that Zidane is keeping an eye on the situation to United and he's open to the move. So it's either one or two things. One, that this is accurate and credible and that Zidane is open to the move and he's making it known. Or two, which I think the situation is, because I just have a feeling we're not going to get Zidane, to be honest with you, in more that Zidane maybe wants to move back to Real Madrid. Ancelotti's leaving. Let's link myself to United. So Real Madrid, hurry up and get it done on their side. I think it could be number two. Let me know your thoughts down below. Very sceptical. Do take it with a pinch of salt. But as I said, we've been linked to Zidane a lot. This was said a couple of weeks ago. Southgate, Potter, De Zerbi, Frank, Tuchel, Lopetegui, Zidane and Amorim and Nagelsmann are all the names that have been discussed internally. Ratcliffe is determined to be as ambitious as possible with his appointments to key positions and official approaches for candidates like Ange Postecoglou, who has been at Tottenham for less than a year. So again, not been ruled out. I think United maybe have a big list of managers' names up there in case they decide to sack Ten Hag. Of course, they haven't sacked Ten Hag yet, and no decision's been made on Ten Hag's future, but we'll get into it in a second. There is indications that Ten Hag could go. I think United have got a list of lots of names, but they might look at the list of names. They might look at how much they'll cost, who's available, who they can realistically get, compare them to Ten Hag and say, is this manager going to be better for Ten Hag than the project? Let's say out of this list of names, 60% of the candidates don't want to come. 30% of the candidates on this list that are left, we can't afford the two names left in maybe Southgate and Thomas Frank. They might look at it and say, you know what, Ten Hag's a better option than Southgate and Thomas Frank going forward. Or Ineos might look at it and say, Zinedine Zidane wants the job. It's not going to be too costly. He's better than Ten Hag. They go with Zidane. But that would depend on, does Zidane really want the job? Or is he using United to maybe get the move he really wants? Obviously, we've been linked to Zidane for a while. This came back in November before Ineos were even in, and it said that United were considering alternatives for Erik ten Hag, who was thought to be on thin ice. Now, this came from the Times Sport, which is very credible, and they said the club views Zinedine Zidane and Amorim as potential replacements. Amrin is obviously going to Sporting. So there is some genuine, interest on United side in Zidane. The question has been, has there been interest back on Zidane's side, which I've doubted. News coming from credible reports have said, Zidane is open to it. But could that be Zidane's agent saying that to scare Real Madrid because he wants to go back to Real Madrid? That's my sort of stance on it as well. Let me know your stance. And also, I do think Zidane is a great manager, but is he the right fit for United? I think we're still 2-3 years off going for Premier League or Champions League. And Zidane's the kind of guy that, I know it said in the report that he'd rather move to United than the safety of Bayern, but I feel like he wants to take over a really good team and make sure they hit their ceiling, whereas Man United haven't got a really good team yet. You look at maybe Arsenal and Liverpool, there's a good team there, but they might not win anything major this season. They're still in the title race, but it looks like it's going to go City. That looks like sort of the project Zidane would take over, take them from second to first. Does Zidane want to take United from 7th, 8th, potentially 9th, up to first? That's the big question. Is he the kind of manager that does well with good squads, but can he take a bad squad, rebuild it? Is he that kind of manager? Would be the question. Now, I think Zidane is a great manager. And look, I would rather us go for Zidane than Potter and a lot of the names we've been linked to. But personally, I do think maybe we could give Ten Hag another season to see what he does into good recruitment, because I don't know what Zidane would be like at rebuilding the squad and doing with these bad players. Although I think he would probably be an improvement on Ten Hag. I personally think I'd rather keep Ten Hag than Southgate. I'd rather keep Ten Hag than bring in a couple of other managers. I think Zidane is where I do look at it and go, if he wants the United job, I probably would be willing to let Ten Hag go for Zidane. If Ineos got rid of Ten Hag and replaced with Zidane, would not complain. Even though I kind of want Ten Hag to stay and succeed because I loved what he did at Ajax. I was a massive fan of Ten Hag at Ajax, and I think that he did well in his first season at United. I still genuinely believe that Erik Ten Hag is a really good manager, but this season it's not been good. Now, some of that has been down to the players, some of that has been down to poor recruitment, and some of that's been down to Ten Hag's tactics. I believe that Ten Hag is a fantastic manager and he can be a fantastic manager, but I also understand if Ineos sack him because the football we're playing hasn't been great and it hasn't been good all season. And you've got Santi, a reliable journalist, saying, Ineos have been looking for a new manager at United for many months. The football has been poor for months. Now, I don't think anyone knows if we're looking at a new manager or not. I don't think anyone knows for sure if we're going to sack Ten Hag or not, but I think journalists are suggesting it's more likely that Ten Hag will go, which for me, I understand if you sack Ten Hag and replace him with Zidane because Zidane has won all those Champions Leagues. He's a better manager than Ten Hag. But part of me deep down just likes what Ten Hag's done with the youth. Would just like to give him till Christmas to see what he does, if he can get recruitment right this summer and we don't have the injury crisis, to see what he can do. Because we know we don't have the players physically and technically to play the way he wants. But we also know that he set us up really badly. I just would love to see Ten Hag give him one more season, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, one player we almost got under Ten Hag, and one player where things could be very different if we sign him, is De Jong. Apparently, Barca open to selling De Jong, and they believe they can get 60 to 70 million euros. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to give it any attention. I'd love De Jong. Is he the profile we need? Yes and no. I still think we need someone that can play as a natural holding six and then get De Jong on top of it. But De Jong doesn't want to go to United. De Jong is on ridiculously high wages. De Jong's probably not going to happen. It's probably Barcelona linking us to De Jong to get a bit of attention. Let's ignore the De Jong story and talk about Ashworth. On Dan Ashworth, Newcastle's search for Dan Ashworth's replacement is approaching the final phase. Once a decision is made, it should accelerate negotiations between Newcastle and United over compensation for Ashworth. I think, Jason Wilcox will come in. Obviously, Barada comes in end of June. I think the fact that John Murtaugh's left and they've announced that, despite John Murtaugh, who was working up in Saudi Arabia and Portugal just a month ago and Spain just a month ago, says to me that maybe Ineos have some confidence they're going to reach some agreement with Ashworth. Jim Ratcliffe took matters into his own hand, met Amanda Staveley. Newcastle don't want to keep paying his wages. Ashworth obviously wants to go to United. United have made it clear to Newcastle we're not caving on the 20 million. I think Newcastle have got the hint now. Newcastle will probably lower the price. I think some agreement will be made for Ashworth because Ratcliffe really wants it done. Newcastle really want an Ashworth replacement, so they kind of need to sort out the Ashworth situation. I think all parties actually at phase where they want it done, and I think the fact that Murtaugh was gone says to me there's a feeling it can be done, but it's going to be difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens August, September, but I do think we'll be working to try and get this done in June, July. Anyway, I want to end on a positive note talking about the youth. Now, we spoke about Shea Lacey in this morning's video, how he is just a top talent. But there's also another top talent at United called Harry Amass, who's probably been our best under-18s player this season. And with the left-back situation, he could have a breakthrough. Now, Harry Amass was 16 a month ago. He's just turned 17. And I still think, you know, there's a massive difference between 16 and 18. I still think he's got another year of development left, because as good as the under-18s are, throwing in an 18-year-old is very different to throwing in a 16-year-old. I guess he's just turned 17 now. He's still going to be very raw. But with the left-back situation, with how good Harry Amass is, I think we'd like to see him try it out. I think Man United will try him out in pre-season. He has been on the bench a lot lately, and maybe he gets a run out in a game, but I think all the games are sort of must win between now and the end of the season. Maybe he plays last game of the season if there's nothing to play for, like sort of Garnacho played last game of the season under Rangnick. Maybe we see Harry Amass get a run in there. But apparently United want to have a really serious look at Harry Amass before signing a left-back this summer. They've let Alvaro Fernandez go. They believe Harry Amass is better at left-back, and they know that they need another left back. But if this young kid's good, a bit like Kobbie Mainoo coming through and obviously Garnacho coming through, this could save them a bit of money. So United reportedly want to have a look at Harry Amass. And I do think Harry Amass and Shea Lacey will be heavily involved in pre-season. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Please hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. Bye.